Going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today I will be taking a look at Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Netflix Deluxe Class Autobot Hound. As you can see, now all of these new War for Cybertron Netflix figures are exclusive here in US markets to Walmart. On the side of the box we have an image of Hound as well as a painted Autobot symbol. It doesn't say Siege, but seeing as he is a re-release of his Siege figure, it would make sense for me to say Siege. On this side you have an image of Optimus Prime, Chromia, Sideswipe, the Arc taking off, an image of Red Alert carrying a Hound on his back. I don't know if you can see if my camera will focus. And a couple of other things down here. It's hard to tell who that is shooting, but here's an image of Optimus Prime and Megatron fighting. Now, it's hard to tell who this Seeker could be. It could be Starscream, it could be Skywarp, it could be Thundercracker, it could be the new Hotlink figure that came out, it could be, well, one of the Rainmakers that was seen briefly in one of the G1 episodes from the first season. Now, something that I will discuss in the video will be this piece for Teletran 1. Now that's it for the packaging. So now this flimsy cardboard piece that comes with each, now there's different pieces from each Netflix figure, and there's a specific way on how to connect these Teletran 1 pieces. So yeah, now like I said, flimsy cardboard. So setting that down here. Now one thing about the I don't know if Siege already did this. Now the second part of the War for Cybertron trilogy, Earthrise, does something like this. And I actually have an Earthrise figure who I will review probably later this week. So yeah, this is basically, well, an image of Hound behind a painted white Autobot symbol. Moving along to the actual figure himself, as you can see, Hound here is a re-release of his original Siege counterpart, but with a couple of minor details, such as the different color scheme, along with the different painted weapons. Now, I do not have the original Siege version of Hound that came out last year to do a comparison. So, yeah, as you can see, he is supposed to be based off of his original G1 self, seeing as he, in the G1 cartoon and comic, was a Jeep. I forgot what kind of Jeep it was. If someone would let me know in the comments. I have not seen G1 in a while, so I forgot what kind of Jeep Hound transformed into. But this is a modified Cybertronian version of what Hound's Jeep mode on Earth would look like. So yeah, as you can see, there's a star right here and an Autobot symbol, and he does roll as rolling things should. Now, one thing about the Siege line being the first part of this new trilogy is that each Siege figure has portholes to plug in their respective weapons or more weapons, such as Battle Masters. Now, Battle Masters can become any type of weapon. They can become handheld weapons. Well, they're all handheld weapons. They can become like ranged weapons like blasters, cannons, or melee weapons like swords, or defense weapons like shields, stuff like that. Now you can put weapons on these portholes on the sides, on these up here. Now the instructions say to put these two on here, which is where I usually leave them, and this will be for these two in robot mode. So that's basically it for vehicle mode. Moving on to robot mode, basically just remove the weapons, set them off to the side. Now, there is something to be cautious of that I have experienced, and that is when you take these side pieces off that will become part of his legs, try not to pop these off, because now you can easily put them back on, but I've tried quite a few times to not, pop these off. Now, transformation, now this is what I was talking about. Don't do it so hard. Try to do it as soft as you can, because these will pop off, but you can easily pop them back on. Basically just take the sides of his vehicle mode, but remove what will become his arms in robot mode. Now this is probably a pain in the ass to do, so now I recommend being actually careful with these, because these could easily pop off. Now this side has given me some problems. This side is the one that bugs me the most. Damn it, can't even say that right. Now basically just take this whole assembly back here. Well, you can obviously split the legs like so to make it easier for the transformation. Just fold out the legs, take what will become his feet and the inner sides of his legs, just tab everything in like so. Fold up the feet, basically have the bottom half of his robot mode. Then take the arms, fold them out like so. Take this whole chest assembly, just fold it down like so. Take this back piece, fold it in, and there's an open slot here that will tab in here. Just tap. Now when you get to the articulation, it is a bit loose, so it comes off a bit. This, just fold it back like so, then tab the arms in, rotate the arms, and here we have Hound in his G1 accurate, more or less, robot mode. And now Hound was one of my favorite characters from the G1 cartoon, and even more so when he made his debut in the live action movies. So yeah. Now I will discuss weapons in a bit, but as you can see, classic G1 Hound, where the front of his vehicle mode becomes his chest. The legs, well, let's take a look at that head sculpt. That is the G1 Hound. Sorry if my camera isn't focusing here. Now articulation, head is on a ball joint. It can rotate the full 360, but it was stiff when I first got it, and when I first opened it and rotated the head, it was a bit stiff. Now as you can see, he does the splits like so. Arms are on swivel joints. Well, I wouldn't say swivel joints, but they can rotate the full 360, go in and out. Bend at the elbow, rotation at the bicep as seen in the transformation. Now the wrists do move the full 360 on a swivel joint. Now waist articulation. Now every single War for Cybertron Siege figure has waist articulation. Legs kick forward and back that far. As you saw, he does the splits like so. Rotation at the bicep, well, at the thigh. Bend at the knee. And just like now, similar to the waist rotation, Siege figures have ankle tilts in their feet. So you can get a variety of poses with figures like Hound. Now, moving on to his weapons, he comes with the shoulder cannon that you could put onto either side. Now, to give him that G1 look, I keep it on the right side. Now, I'm a G1 fan, I am a G1 fan, but I also like the Transform. Now, I am a mix of the original G1 cartoon, comic, and toy line, but I'm also a fan of the live action movies. So, yeah. Now, as you can see, you can put it on either side, but I prefer to give him that more G1 kind of look. He does come with this blaster, and this piece in vehicle mode is some sort, kind of acts like an ammo clip if you want. So, there's that. Now, another thing about Siege is that there's these little pieces that you could put blast effects on if you have Battle Masters, and the Battle Masters come with effects. You can put those blast effects on these pieces, on these small pieces, like his shoulder here. I'm seeing one on the leg here. I don't know if it's hard to tell if there's any others. And another thing you can put, now with typical Siege figures, there's portholes on, well, there's 2 on each arm, in the open hand, on the shoulders, 2 on the legs, and in vehicle mode these fold up into his now his feet become those side pieces in vehicle mode. So yeah, you can put a lot of weapons onto Hound. Now there is an open porthole on the back, so you can probably store his weapon if you don't want him to hold it. However, me personally, with all my figures, I like having them wield their weapons. So yeah, that's now I guess this can act as some sort of display base similar to that of Studio Series. However, I probably won't have this, seeing as I need space on my shelves. I prefer to keep my Studio Series backdrops inside the packaging and just display the figures near some of, well, basically next to each other. So yeah, now before I close off the video, I want to show something that is kind of cool. Now you can combine the weapons like so. Now you can have something like this, or if you want something like this. Now you'll probably have to angle the arms like so to have something like this. Now watch out for when it'll eventually come off. So now you could probably have Hound as some sort of sniper in this kind of position, which I guess would kind of work if you wanted Hound to be a character who is a sniper. As you can see, it works like that. I don't know if you can see it like so. It does work, as you can see. Now the ammo clip does store on the back of what is his shoulder cannon. Now one thing I did manage to accomplish is that the blaster section of his weapon can be held in his hand. Now one thing I did actually find interesting is that not only can you combine the weapons, but you can have Hound combine his weapons as some sort of hammer if you want. Now you can have it like this, like elongated, or if you just keep that separate, you can have this like this. Now these are just options if you want. So it kind of looks like, now obviously you can have him shooting and having a melee weapon. So options are always good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review on Transformers Generations, or for Cybertron Trilogy, Siege, Netflix, Deluxe Class, Autobot Hound. So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next review.